Hey everybody, it's Anissa, and this is Something to Finish podcast where I discuss topics that help you and I ascend to the highest version of ourselves. I'm super excited to be back this week with you all, and I'm glad that you're joining me again to speak about topics that help us ascend to our higher selves. I think that personally, I think that that's really important to continuously have those type of conversations so that you can continually reflect on your past self, your present self, and what you would like to bring in for yourself for the future. So yeah, let's get on into it. But before we do so, I definitely want to remind you guys to share this podcast with somebody that you love and to leave a 5-star rating. Please, 5 stars, only 5 stars, and to leave a review. I want to hear from you guys. Other people, I'm sure, would like to hear your commentary on what you think about the podcast. And I know from experience, I listen to a lot of podcasts, like so many different genres, and I definitely go to the review section most of the times and I just kind of read what people think and what they get from it. And I mean, that doesn't discourage me from listening to the podcast if I want to listen to it, but I definitely find that they help, just like YouTube comments, they definitely help. Or they're funny, it's either one. But yeah, so today's topic is about inner strength and divine power. And I wanted to talk about this today because it's something that personally I feel like I and a lot of people who I have been around or have experienced or really just known or met throughout my life have struggled with these same things. And I think that inner strength and divine power can kind of seem woo woo or like, okay, yeah, but I need to get this stuff done, or I need to make sure I have this stuff, or I need to make sure I achieve this goal for this reason, but it's not really rooting from what you truly need to do. Does that make sense? I'm not sure, but I definitely pulled a card from Notes from the Universe. Oh, did I show you guys last time? Like the little, yeah. If you're watching the YouTube video right now, which I guess announcement, I didn't make this announcement on the last podcast episode, but I am now uploading my podcast episodes to YouTube. So, yeah. You can see me. But right now I'm holding it up and it's probably backwards just because of how cameras are, but I'll read it off. Notes from the Universe on Abundance. It's the same 60 card deck by Mike Dooley. And I think today, again, I pulled the perfect one for this conversation. So the card says, really and truly, money just isn't that important. Now, before you have a conniption, by all means pursue it, spend it, and roll around in it, but just don't let it become how the rest of your dreams will come true. I know how, just dream your dreams, the universe. And basically, that is what I'm trying to say. It says, don't let it become how the rest of your dreams will come true. And I definitely can resonate with that because as someone who likes to plan things out, as someone who likes to kind of mentally and physically write down sometimes the way that I feel like I need to accomplish things, it can be hard to detach from that way of thinking and that way of doing things. So when I feel like I want to achieve something, sometimes unfortunately I will kind of write down this plan and feel like I have to stick to it or everything is failing. And ultimately that doesn't cause anyone but me, most importantly, and the people around me lots of stress and lots of unnecessary fear-based actions and fear-based decisions and mental thinking and self-talk. So I don't want to be in that energy. I don't want to conduct my life in that way based off of those fears, pretty much, because there's a point where you can be a great planner and you can be prepared, but there's also a point where you can prepare so much and plan so much to where it kind of stifles you and doesn't allow you to move in the way that you could freely flow to your destination that you desire. So, yeah, I just think that understanding that the answers that we are seeking and needing are most likely, and usually, honestly, they're inside of us already. We just have to self realize and self analyze our understanding of ourselves. I hope I'm not losing y'all, but it's a topic that is hard to talk about, just like all the other topics on this podcast. Like, when you are on a trajectory to something, it can, especially something that's amazing, it can feel like, "Ugh, I'm never going to be able to touch this unless I just work on things." And most of the times most of the times when we think about things that we need to work on, we think about things outside of self, when really what we should be thinking about is, how can I tend to myself? How can I care for myself? How can I listen more to myself so that I can really see what's going on in this situation, like how I can move forward in the way that I want to move forward, how I can be happier, how I can connect with my friends and family more, how I can learn something new and not feel like I'm never going to be able to conquer this. I just feel like a lot of the time we don't realize the divine power inside of us and, the inner strength that we hold. And unfortunately, I think that a lot of the times, um, codependency in all types of relationships tend to leave people feeling as though they don't have what it takes for themselves to accomplish the things that they need. Literally, I promise you, everything you need is inside of you. All the knowledge that you have retained since birth, honestly, especially before birth, is there for you to accomplish all things that you desire that are in good terms with the world and the universe and how it's supposed to be turning. Yeah, just had to clarify that. So I think it's really just a collective se- security of self situation. I made that up just now. Collective security of self. And what that means to me, that phrase I just made up, I'm going to explain it to y'all. What that means to me is, a lot of us, I feel, and this is my opinion, my podcast, my opinion, but I feel like a lot of us are afraid and in fear mode when it comes to realizing the power that we really do hold. And that in itself can stifle you and stop you from moving at the pace that you would like to, and bringing to fruition the things that you have been working on and manifesting. And so it can be defeating, because it's a mental defeat, because you have the power to do things and carry out things the way that you need, but you are self-doubting. You have self-doubt. So it makes you feel like, maybe I shouldn't, or maybe I should just go look at some more of what they're doing, and oh, but they've been doing it for that long. Or I just think that sometimes, this is what I think. Okay, so I have a challenge, and it's basically just an exercise. You know what I mean? It's an exercise for us to try to practice leaning in on that inner strength and the divine power. It's just a way to kind of say, it's a way to zoom all the way in and be like, oh, okay, I kind of see how this is happening now, or I kind of see why I react to this way now, or wow, maybe my cycle was around and that's why these things were feeling so daunting, or why I was feeling depressed, or maybe, just really tuning in on how you're taking care of yourself, the environment you're in, the way that you react to things, the way that literally just, so let me give you the exercise. It is daily reflection for 5 days. And this is going to help you see how this is gonna help you see how reflecting at the end of your day, or in the mid part of your day, and then at the end as well, that could be helpful if you don't have enough time, or it might, because a lot of the times when you start reflecting on your day, like when you first start doing those types of things, it can be hard to recount what happened in the whole day. So I definitely would suggest, if you are going to do the exercise of reflection for 5 days, go ahead and make two marks in the day. The half of your day, so like the middle of your day, and then the end of your day. So that way, in the middle of your day report and reflection journal, you will be able to, pretty much reflect on maybe what happened right before you went to bed, um, after you listen to this podcast, or whatever you did before you started the reflection exercise, and then what you did in that rising during that day up until that point. And then the second entry and the second part of the exercise will be during the night before you go to sleep, or before you end your day, however you do that. So basically, this is just you documenting yourself. It's you really taking the time to analyze and observe yourself, so that you can do self study, so that you can lean in on and understand that it is present, your inner strength and your divine power, and it's there to work in your favor, as long as you are able to tap into your heart space and work from that heart space, and do things in love, and especially for yourself. It's so easy, especially as a mom. It's so easy as and as a woman, it's so easy to help others to your fullest capacity. Like, take all your strength and your inner power and your divine feminine, and your, just all the good stuff that you know is present in you when you're trying to help others. You can take all of that and you can give yourself the same effort. You can give your goals the same effort. That's what I'm trying to say. My baby's about to wake up. So this was the perfect timing. Mom life. So once again, 5-star ratings, reviews, something to finish podcast. And I'm very grateful for y'all for tuning back in. I don't know how traditional this podcast is going to be. Like, I don't know if it's going to follow a format 100%. I'm just going to be Anissa. I'm just going to be your host. I'm your friend. I am Anissa, and I'm here with information. I'm here with my opinions on different topics that I think are important to be discussed. And there is no outline. So, thank you very much, and peace.